we can use the complete the square equation method in order to find the radius and the center of a circle. So in order to get the equation of a circle, and then hence use that to find the radius and the equation of a circle. This course, by the way, this video only applies to GCSE Math and IGCSE Further Math. It does not apply to IGCSE Normal Math because Normal Math does not contain circles. So anything with circles, if you're doing Normal Math only, you don't need to know. For GCSE Math and IGCSE Further Math, by the way. Okay, so completing the square to find the equation of to find the radius and center of a circle. In case you forgot, the equation of a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared, and that's going to equal the radius squared. So x and y are points on the circle. Points on the circle. And a and b is the center. So center A, B. Right? So if the center was origin, it would just be 0, 0, right? And that's why if the center of the circle is origin, we simplify the equation to just become x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Because when a is 0 and b is 0, they're just going to disappear, right? That's why it becomes x squared plus y squared equals r squared if the center is 0, 0. If it's not, we have this long formula. So if you have a circle equation, you'll usually just have x minus, say, 5. That's going to be the center of a circle. Plus y minus 2. So the center of this circle would be 5, 2 equals 10. That might be the center. That might be the radius, sorry. So in order to find the radius of this circle, we just do root 10 to get the radius. Because remember, the radius has been squared. If you forgot everything about this, watch my previous video on equations of circles. I made a couple of videos on this, actually. Alright, let's go on to the actual completing the square section of this video. X squared minus 2x, let me write that a bit better, plus y squared minus 6y is equal to 0. And this is the equation of a circle. By writing the equation in the form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, work out the center and the radius of the circle. So this is the equation of a circle, and rewrite it in the form x minus a squared. This is just the generic usual formula, plus y minus b squared equals r squared. Use it to find center and the radius of this circle. Now, you might not see this instantly and see, oh, I need to use the complete the square method. But there is a really easy way to do this if you use the complete the square method. So let's just take this part and rewrite it over here. Actually, I'll rewrite it on the next page just so that we have more space. X squared minus 2x plus y squared minus 6y equals 0. That's just the formula that we are provided in the question. We need to rewrite it into the generic formula and use that to find the center and the radius. Because right now with this, we can't really do anything. We're going to gather our like terms together. We have our x and x here. And we also have our y and y here. And then now we can, with this section, each individual section, we can use our complete the square method. Because remember, when you use complete the square, we end up with something like x plus b squared minus 15, right? And then what we can do is we can add 15 on both sides and move the 15 over to the other side to find the radius. This might sound confusing when I say it like this. I'll do it through an example and you'll see. X squared minus, remember when you complete the square you divide this in half, so that's just going to become x minus 1 squared, and 1 squared is 1. Okay? If you forgot how to do the complete the square method, watch my previous videos on that. Y squared. Y minus 6 divides by 2 to become minus 3. The square moves over here, and we square minus 3. Minus 3 squared is 9, and it's always a negative, so it's going to be minus 9. Alright, we have our two equations. We can almost see the circle equation. All we have to do is move over this and this to this side of the equation to find the radius. So it's going to become x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared, is equal to, we're going to add 10 on both sides. We had a minus 9 and a minus 9, minus 1 and a minus 9, right? If we add 10 on both sides, we're going to get rid of all these, and we have 10 on the right side. Now we have the generic equation of a circle. These two, x and y, these just stay unknown. That's just how the circle equation works. These are just points on the circle. This minus 1 and minus 3 tells us the center. So the center of this circle is going to be 1 and 3. Because remember, we flip the signs when we get the center. And the radius is just going to be root 10. Because remember, in the equation, it's always r squared. So we need to, the inverse of a square, of squaring something is rooting it, right? So we're going to square root 10 to find the radius. And this is how you do it. Let's take a look at a couple more examples. We might have x squared minus 10x, write that a bit better, plus y squared plus 9 equals 0. And we want to find the radius and the, what else are we looking for? Center of the circle. So we need to put this into the generic formula of a circle. Well, if you notice, we have x squared and minus 10x here, and we have y squared and another term here. It doesn't have to be y, but it's just our other remaining term, so we'll use it. If we use the complete the square method to put this into the circle form, we can have x, remember the square moves outside of the brackets, and minus 10 divided by 2 is minus 5. Minus 5 squared is 25, but it's always a minus, so it's going to stay at minus 25. And this y squared plus 9, well, it's already in this form. We don't need to do anything. We'll just keep it as y squared plus 9, like so. Then, sorry, I shouldn't put the brackets around that actually. We can finally rewrite the equation into x minus 5 squared plus y squared. Because remember, this isn't a y term. If this was 9y, then we'd have to do the same thing. But it's not y. It's just another number. So we can add 25 on both sides to get 25. And we can minus 9 on both sides to get rid of this one. So that'll give us 16, I believe. Yeah. So 25 has moved over. This 9 has moved over. So 16 is equal to x minus 5 squared plus y squared. This bit might look a bit confusing, but remember, x minus a squared plus y minus b squared, right? And a and b are just centers. So we can rewrite that as y squared minus 0 squared. That's why there's nothing here, because the center of y is 0. So we just write nothing, but that basically means it's 0. So if you want to find the center, we flip the sign for x, so that's going to be 5, and this just means it's 0. So 5, 0 is the center, because remember, x squared plus y squared equals r squared, right? That's the formula if your circle has center 0, 0. The reason that's true, and it's not this formula, is because if it's center 0, 0, a and b is going to be 0, 0, right? And if you sub in a and b, it's just going to give you x squared plus y squared. That's why if you have y squared just here, it's just going to give us 0. So center is 5, 0. And if we want the radius too, the radius is just going to be root 16. Because remember, r squared is on the formula. So the inverse of squaring is rooting. So root 16 is going to be the radius. We can simplify that to just become 4. Alright, let's look at one last final example. X squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 4y plus 5 equals 0. Now we have 5 terms. It's not easy, don't get scared. X squared pairs with this one. Y squared pairs with the y term. And this 5 is alone, right? So we can just move the 5 over to the other side. That will become minus 5, sorry. Because minus 5 on both sides to get rid of this 5. So it would be minus 5. And then we just do the complete the form equation for this. So x, remember the square moves outside the brackets. Minus 8 divided by 2 is minus 4. Minus 4 squared is 16, but it's always a minus, so minus 16. And we're going to have y and 4y, so it's going to become 2. And the squared moves outside the brackets, and 2 squared is 4, but it's always a minus, so minus 4 is going to equal negative 5. We can add this minus 16 and 4 to give us minus 20, and we can add 20 on both sides to get rid of the minus 20 on here, and that's just going to give us 15 is going to equal x minus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared. And now we're back to our generic formula of a circle. Remember, A and B are the centers, so when we flip the signs, so the center of this circle is going to be 4 and negative 2. And the radius of this circle, well, remember, the generic formula always has radius as squared. So we need to square root this, the inverse of squaring, so the radius of this circle will be 15. Pretty easy. Thank you for watching this one.